Hi, my loves. I hope you're good. I hope you guys are good and doing well. All right. So the sun is only coming out. I think it's 8. Yeah, I think it's 8. When the sun comes, it's 8. And then also, good morning, good day, good evening, depending on when you are watching this. Thank you so much for the people who like and comment on the page. I know the comments sometimes make me frustrated, but we soldier on. And to those in the inboxes, please do not send me videos. Like, guys, I'm already overwhelmed by this page, and it's a one-man show. I'm running everything on my own, and so if you're sending me videos on the page in the inboxes, it's making my job extra. So ask yourself that how many inboxes am I getting a day? And if you are forwarding me a video, if 100 people forward me a videos, like what am I supposed to do? So let's be intentional in the inboxes. If you come into the inboxes and say, hi, good morning, how are you? I'm not going to answer you. And so if that's the type of message you've sent, go back into that inbox and write a proper message. And to those in the inboxes, please know that I clear inboxes every day. And this is why I clear inboxes every day, because there's so many junk that just comes into the inbox. And it just makes my work so hard. Like, I need to dedicate time to just go through the inboxes, right? And some people are asking clear questions, or they have clear things that they want to talk about, and I do answer them. To some, like, if you just say, hi, how are you, good morning, write a clear message, write a straightforward message. I don't know you, you don't know me. I can't go and text someone and say, hi, how are you? Don't do that. Those are scammers. Scammers are the ones that do that. I don't know you. So when I go into your inbox or WhatsApp or whatever, hi, my name is this and Maputi. My name is Maputi. I'm contacting you because I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 from you. That's etiquette. Proper etiquette. Because we're not friends. We don't know each other. Even my friends don't come and just say, hi, how are you? No, they don't do that. Fine. So let's be intentional in the inboxes, right? And also, I keep saying this, but people keep sending me their dreams in the inboxes. I don't do dream interpretations. Like, I don't do dream interpretations at all. I only do it with the people that I'm already working with. All right, so some comments, I don't understand them, and I'll ask for clarity, because maybe I said something, I said a whole thing, and then you're commenting on one thing, but you're commenting on it as if like I know what you are commenting on, right? When I don't know. I said so much. So out of all those things, what are you commenting on? So be clear. Hi, be clear and say something like, listen, maybe you are laughing at something I said. Wow, that's funny, especially when you said this. Then I know which part of the message you are commenting to. Okay. I don't think this is going to be a long video. And it could. All right. So the day before yesterday, or another day, I made a video, Makhosi intro. We're continuing with Makhosi, right? We continue with Makhosi, and I'm going to tell you the messages that have been coming in based on, like, there's messages that are coming in, but some of them are just thoughts that I've always had. Not thoughts, but lessons that I've always been taught. Now, let's get back to the Tokoza Gogo Nkulu thing business, right? Now, not everyone is called a Gogo. As I said in the previous video, not everyone is called Nkulu. Now, why? Right? Why? That title, the people that use it, the people who are supposed to be called Gogo and Nkulu, will have it even on their names. When they introduce themselves, they'll say, I am Gogo so and so. Let me move this thing. They will say that I am Gogo so and so. Oh, now I'm making it come to me, all of it now. How? They will say, I'm Gogo so and so, I'm Kulu so and so. People introduce themselves because that's how their ancestors want to be called. There are those in different sects of spiritually who would say, I am Me so and so, Ntate so and so, right? Now, some of you here sitting here are pharaohs. You are an actual pharaoh. Now, there's no way I can come to a pharaoh and say Nkulu. It does not work like that. There's some of you who are goddesses. I can't come to you and say Gogo. No, that's disrespect. Would you go to the royal courts? Would you go to a royal house and get there and actually then call a king Gogo? No, you don't do that. So we've made something that was never a norm, and we have different cultures and different people do things differently. We took something that was never a norm and now we want to paint it to everyone. Thokoza is isiZulu, is Nguni. It's Nguni. I'm not Zulu, by the way. So please, guys, stop commenting in Zulu. Because of like, now I understand Zulu. I'm not Zulu. And even the Tswana people, so comment in English. So that everyone is able to get the message. Okay, fine. That's Nguni. Not everyone is Nguni. We don't Thokoza. Because we don't all belong to the same cultures. Right? As I said, if you really want to be respectful, then say Makhosi ke. Makhosi the host lesedi khanya. That's what you say when you don't know what to say to a person lesedi. Hence, that's why even in the Western community they say love and light. That's what you say if you do not know how to properly address a person. That's what you say to them. Lesedi khanya. Right? So I can't just now, let's say maybe an Islam person can't just come and greet me with their greetings. I'm not Islam. Why must I now know how to respond back in there? Because now if they come and say, oh, Africans, if a person come and say More, I'm not Africans. Why must I say More back? No. And they can answer me back. Right? So we've just taken certain things and now we want to paint it for everyone, and it doesn't work like that. This is a lesson. Now we progress, we grow, we understand. This is part of learning. We understand that not every healer is a Thokoza. Nothing irritates my ancestors like someone coming in and saying Thokoza, or someone coming in and saying Gogo. Oh, you want to frustrate them? Call them Gogos or Mkulus. Like what? What is that? Don't call us that. Right? And that's why I keep correcting many of you, and I keep correcting many, and I'll continue to keep correcting many of you. Right? Now, this is also part of the Makhosi thing, because there are different classes. In spirituality as well, there are classes. The class system, it didn't appear out of nowhere. Class system appeared because it's always been there. There are classes and sectors even in spirituality. Now, fine. Now, before I continue, I don't know, is it important? Okay, I'll remember to say it. I hope I remember to say it at the end. Okay, fine. Now, a lot of healers have talked about Makhosi, right? A lot of healers have talked about having royal blood. So we're not going to sit here and I try and talk what they've said, discredit what they said, because they did an amazing job in teaching us about royalty. Now, I'm just going to take a different take or add to the beautiful work that has already been done by countless of healers in teaching us about royalty. I'm going to just come in and give a little bit of the knowledge that I know, that I feel like it's missing in the teachings that have already been going around. Now, let's talk about royalty. There's many of you who come and then you are told you have royal blood, told you have this royalty in your blood, right? But what kind of royalty? Right, what kind of royalty? So many of the ancestors will introduce themselves either with a leopard, a lion, like the big five, right? Especially for people in Africa, they will use mainly the big five. They will use even the leopards. They will use the jaguars, snow leopards. They will use all the big cats. Some would use elephants, crocodiles. Some would use whales. Some would come looking like royalty. But many times they start with the animals that represents the totem that they belong in, like eagles. Like an eagle, definitely royalty. Right. So now they will come here and introduce these animals to you. Now, even in the animal kingdom, it's also not. There's still a class system. Not all animals represents kingship. Fine. Now, even in royal houses, not all people in the royal house are kings. Okay, let's break it down in a little bit. Let's break it down. We have a royal house. In the royal house, we have a king and a queen. Those are what we classify as rulers, right? Now, if a king or queen appears to you, it means that you have rulership. You are part of those that need to be rulers. You are going to rule because you work with the king and the queen. So now, there's a difference between having royal blood and having a king and a queen. Now, generally, everyone I'm going to talk about has royal blood. But now we're starting to sectionize. Get my pen. But now we are starting to sectionize the different bloodlines, right? So now we start, you walk with the king, you saw a king and a queen sitting on a royal throne. That's a ruler. That's the rulership blood. Now, the king and the queen has kids, which we call prince and princesses in the courts. Now, they could have princes and princesses. They could be like 4, 5, or maybe they had 10 kids. 5 prince and 5 princesses, right? Now, not all of the 10 kids are going to rule. Not all of them are going to be in rulership. What do I mean about this? Not all princes are eligible for the ruler seat. And you could have royal blood, but your dad was one of the princes, not the king, not the one in line to be a king. The only way that there would have been a king is circumstantially. If all the princes before them had to pass on, then there would be no choice but for them to ascend the throne. But if nothing circumstantially changes in the rulership, then they don't ascend the throne. And because they don't ascend the throne, their kids never also ascend the throne, unless if the one who's a king doesn't have sons. Then they have to take from one of the kids to ascend the throne. Now let's go to the princesses. The princesses, not all of them are going to marry kings, are going to marry princes who are going to ascend the throne. Some of them are going to marry one of those princes who is not going to ascend the throne, and meaning that their kids will never be in rulership ascending the throne, right? So now there are those who we know that there's a big chance that they will ascend the throne. And then there's those who are circumcised, it's circumstantial. They might not ascend the throne. Right. So those are the princes and everything. Then we have the aunts and uncles and whatever. Right? They also have kids, but it's very rare that their kids will actually be in rulership, unless if the bloodline this side is very blocked. Then one of their kids can be in rulership. Then we have the cousins. Right? The cousin still has royal blood, but the cousin is not a ruler. Then we have those ones who only came into the royal blood through marriage. Their kids will never be rulers, so that's very diluted. So sometimes in consultation, I'll be told that this person is a pure royal, meaning that the mom and the dad are royal blood. Not only that, the mom and the dad also have pure royal blood, meaning that going generations down, there's just pure royal blood. And it was never intended to be like that. Even if the mom was married and had an affair with someone else, it always appears that the person she had an affair with is the one from the royal family. Whereas she's not married to a man from a royal family, right? Then the child ancestors maneuver their way to make sure that the child has royal blood, pure royal blood. Those are the ones that rule, right? Now, just having Makhosi, just having royal blood is the start, is the foundation. But it doesn't make you a ruler. Just like how in a company, just like how in an organization, not everyone in an organization plays the role of leadership, plays the role of chief executive officer. We always have one chief executive officer. Then we have directors, which are the princes, right? And then we have managers, and until we have the workers. Like it all comes down, the structure keeps on diluting, and the more diluting it gets, the more people come into play. The same goes for royalty. So not everyone who has Makhosi, not everyone who has royal blood will or is meant to rule. Sometimes you don't rule in leadership, but you rule in small scales. And also now, we get to the point where is this royal blood coming from? Where is this royal blood coming from? There are 3 types of royal bloods that I've come across. There could be more. Maybe another healer might teach you about more. It's okay. We add into the list. The ones that I've been taught about and the ones that I've been noticing prominently in my consultations are 3. We have the land rulership, the land royal blood. We have the water royal blood, right? Then we have the spiritual royal blood. Meaning, and I've touched on this in another video, meaning a person with the spiritual royal blood is not going to rule in business, but those are the types of people who start churches. You are the kind of people that you will rule in organizational churches. You have a congregation, you rule in the spiritual realms. These are the same people who work with a goddess. If you are a goddess yourself, it doesn't mean that you will have a business. Your line is not business, because goddesses had temples. Your work is in the temple work, in building an organization and training people spiritually. In the water royalty, majority of the royal blood in the water royalty will always rule in economical structures. They will always rule in the financial and economical sectors because they govern the money, they govern the economy, they govern the shipping, international relation. You get what I mean? So it's not necessarily that the Makhosi in the water doesn't sit on a physical seat. And it's especially those Makhosi in the water who don't sit on a physical seat. And many of the Makhosis in the water, you cannot identify, you cannot even find a straight line as to where the royalty comes from. But they are royalty and they have a strong royal blood. But you can't even identify, even if you try by yourself and say, I'm going to do a research and I'm going to search and I'm going to do this, it's always very hard to identify where it's coming from. Okay, we have that. We have those royal people, right? We have these royal people that I'm talking about. And then we have the land people, the land royal blood, right? Those are the people that would rule mainly in having royal houses, maybe clans, the chiefs, the what, right? They could also rule in business. Now, these type of people can intermarry each other, or used to intermarry each other. And then you might also find that because if you hold pure royal blood, you might even find that your royalty is both land and water, and it's pure. So meaning that you will be required to not only build the generational part of the family and make it a restore the glory of your bloodline, but you will also be required to build empires as well. It comes with much more responsibilities. Right, so some of you come and you have the spiritual royalty and the water royalty. Then it means that the spiritual business, the spiritual part has to make you, it has to turn into a business. You will always find ways of turning the spirituality into a business, or businesses will come out of your spirituality. Meaning that, let's say, for now I have this page and I decide to sell candles. I'm using the spiritual gift to build a business as well, but they are connected, meaning that your business will always have a spiritual element to it. Right, so we are at the point where right now it is very hard. Well, it's not hard. There are certain people, certain ancestors are very picky. They have certain ancestors who are just like water. They will make it sure that all their kids marry in the water royalty. And I've come across such people. And then there are certain ancestors who don't mind mixing, but it would definitely be royal. And then there are certain ancestors who will make you are a pastor, your wife is a hierophant. The whole thing that you do is spiritual. Your businesses, your empires, everything, it is spiritual. Right, so those are the three types of royalty that I've come across. But even in that, even in the spiritual royalty, not everyone with the spiritual royalty is supposed to be a pastor. It's supposed to be a bishop. It's supposed to be a what? No. Same as in the water royalty. Not everyone, not depending on the intensity of the bloodline. Not everyone is going to rule in economical structures. Okay, fine. Now, when you have Makhosi, right, and you have kings and queens that used to rule, whether it be in spiritual, land, or water, but they were actual rulers, and they are still rulers. Whether they die or not, they are still rulers. Nothing changes. Even when they come, nothing changes. They are still rulers. They still want to be respected. One thing that you will start to notice as well, let me have a little bit of this. One thing that you will start to notice as well is you are always put in rooms. Number one, you are always, either if you're still working, when you work, let's say maybe you haven't gotten to the point where you have a company. When you work, you will always find yourself intimidating people. Just having royal blood intimidates people, right? Intimidates a lot of people. But when you have Makhosi of a leader, any space you walk into, you're supposed to lead. You don't want to lead, but automatically your ancestors will come in and take over. And you will find yourself having issues with leadership. Number one thing, you will always have issues with leadership. Taking orders. I'm not talking about people who just don't listen. But it's as if like when someone gives you order, it's as if like it bothers you. You get to even have this feeling where you're like how could they talk to me like that? but they're just giving you normal orders. They give orders to everyone. It's like, and then you find yourself thinking, but shouldn't I be the one giving you the orders? Right? Like, you get to that point where it's very hard for you to get along. You butt heads a lot with leadership. People in leadership position will come for you. You will butt heads with them. They will come for you because the minute you enter a room, it's not you who enters first. It's the kings that enters first and the queens that enters first. And then what that does is that even them innately, when you enter a room, they feel the presence and they want to bow down. Now, this is very confusing because we are not in the eras of kings and queens. If Queen Elizabeth, and I'm not sure if her soul should rest in peace, but may her soul rest in peace. If Queen Elizabeth were to enter the room right now, okay, no. If King Shaka, let's take Shaka Zulu. If King Shaka were to enter the room right now, every single person would have bowed down. It doesn't matter if you have an empire of ships or what, you would bow down. The only ones that do not bow down are the ones on the same levels as Shaka. They never bow down. There's a video that I saw. I'm even glad that I brought Queen Elizabeth, because so there's a lesson that I was going through with one of my ancestors, the white ones, but they were teaching me about Queen Elizabeth the First, not the one who passed on, Queen Elizabeth the First. And Queen Elizabeth the First was a mixture of white. I think it was her, or was it Charlotte? Charlotte was black. Yeah, Queen Charlotte was black, but there was a mixture there, somewhere there, right? But we were talking a little bit about that. And then she said to me, we're talking about this bowing down thing. And she said to me, that Nelson Mandela was the only person who called Queen Elizabeth by her name. They didn't even say Queen. He would say, "Good morning, Elizabeth." Never called her addressed as Queen. He always addressed her as Elizabeth. And I was like, what? That's interesting. I never thought of it. And it's like, And I was like, why? And it's like, because he's royalty. He doesn't need to call her Queen, because in the spiritual realm, he's of a higher royalty than her. And now that sparked my attention. Now, a few days, I'm on Instagram and I see a video and I see Nelson Mandela. It's an old video, Nelson Mandela addressing Elizabeth, Queen Elizabeth. And I hear him saying, "How are you, Elizabeth?" with the tone of his. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that's so true. That's exactly what I was told. Right? So now when you get into these offices and you are proper, pure leadership, pure Makhosi, pure royalty, you get into these rooms, you bother these people. Because automatically, innately, it's automatic. Like what did I call it? It's automatic, right? When you move, but it's a subconscious thing. You just do it automatically. They have this thing where they're supposed to kneel down. They're supposed to bow down to you, but they can't do it because logically it doesn't make sense. You are a child. How do you do that? I was having a conversation with one of my mentees, and I was sharing them the story of my life and some of the stuff I had to go through, and some of the positions that I've held that there was no way a woman would have held those positions. Even in the religious sectors, like I could never qualify for some of the positions that I held. And not only that, as a black woman, but how do you get that position? How do you run and tell people if they're getting money or not? Right? And so with that creates a lot of friction. When it creates a lot of friction, it comes to a point where people will want to eliminate you. Now, this is where you come and you have a job and you're asking yourself, but why does my director hate me so much? I didn't do anything to them. I'm even such a junior. They shouldn't even be having such a big problem with me because I don't even report to them directly. Or you come in and ask yourself, but why does my manager, what is the issue? She is more qualified, more educated. What's the issue with my manager? And many of you in your jobs are given strategies that your managers can't even think of. I've never thought. The person has been in that managerial role for 10 years and you are coming up with strategies that they've never even heard of. And when you are asked, I was asking one of my mentees, and she said to me, no, I don't even know where these strategies come from. Like, they're just pure strategies. Because she's princess. She's going to laugh when she sees this. Because she's our princess. And that intimidates people. Now, that will be one of the things. You will always have issues. Now, I'm not talking about having issues because when are you going to work drunk? I'm not talking about having issues because when you're not fulfilling your responsibilities. I'm not talking about having issues because you are not doing your job and then you are then complaining. No, not those, not that the kind of issues I'm talking about. I'm talking about issues where you are doing the job, you are excelling in your job, but people are still hell-bent on destroying you at work. Whether white, black, Indian, or colored. Some of them would even go into fires, use witchcraft to just get you out of the company. Because they've already seen, they can feel it, they don't even know it themselves, but many of them can feel that the only way up, the only way for you to go is up, and it's up above them. And one day they will have to report to you. Because you are Makhosi, you are a leader, you are royalty. Number two, you always find yourself in rooms unintentionally. You don't go seeking out for this, but you're always in spaces with national leaders like your presidents, your prime ministers. You always have some connection with these people, and you don't even understand how this connection comes from. Not only that, you also find yourself having links and connections with the mafias. Like, you also know I know this is weird, but you also know who the underworld mafias are, and you know, you have a protection, like, you know, certain abuti mamang, like, you know that if your car is stolen, you know where to go, right? And these people, for some reason, they always have this energy where they just want to protect you. They just want to make sure, like, Mfana, you must, you are a daughter, you must always be good. No matter what space you go into, people respect you. Not because you gave them money or you bought their respect or anything, but no matter what space you go into, people respect you. I want to tell you a story. It's coming. I don't know why it's coming up. But so there's a time I was walking, right? And so these three guys are planning to mug me. They're street kids. They're planning to mug me, right? And I'm walking and I had my bag. But one of them is once came by the place I was renting, and I was taking out the trash. And I greeted him, and he was passing, and I greeted him, and I called him, and I was like, hey, come here. And we had a conversation. And then I had some food in the fridge that I knew I was not going to eat, but it was still good. Not the ones that I was storing. Because I think he wanted to also come by the trash and get some stuff. And I'm like, I have stuff in the house that you can eat, and I gave it to him. So we had a conversation, right? Small, it wasn't a long thing. And then me, when I talk, I'm a yepper. I am a yepper. So obviously when I meet someone, we are going to talk. We were laughing there and everything. And then so these boys, he's part of the crew. They decide they want to mug me. And they have this whole elaborated plan as to how they were going to go about it. And then he then comes in and he notices it's me. And then he says to me, listen, we're about to mug you. And for you not to be mugged, because now I can't go back to the other crew and say, I know her. Right? That will put you in more danger. So now what you need to do is that you need to, I'm going to try and pretend like I'm mugging you, and you need to fight, but I'm going to be soft. And you need to fight and then run into that store. He literally gave me an escape plan. And I'm like, okay. Because me, I'm street smart. I know these things. And I was like, okay, let's go. And we did our plan, and I ran into the store. So the plan didn't work, right? And from then on, every time I meet that boy acted like he was my protector in the streets. Now all of a sudden I'm being introduced to all the street kids in the area. Now they know me. Now everywhere I go, it's like, hey, how's my birthday? Hey, sisters, how are you? And that has always been the thing with me. Wherever I go, wherever I live, not only do I make friends with anyone, but I just find respect from the commoners, the leaders, the people who in leadership who are bothered by me are the ones that I know, they're threatened. But I just always find myself having links to some people, having links to leaders, having links to presidents, having links to this. You also see these presidents or whatever coming into your dreams and offering you things. They wouldn't just come in your dreams and offer you. I mean, like Donald Trump will not come into my dreams and offer me the things he's been offering me if I did not hold something that he needed. Ramaphosa won't just come in your dreams and tell you messages. So some of you, these leaders are giving you clear instructions. They're even giving you see Ramaphosa in your dream. President, our cupcake. You see him in your dream and he's giving you insights on how to get a tender. Why would he do that? He's doing that because of the people you work with. Some of you see specific managers in higher positions in your company giving you insights on how to do certain jobs. It is because of the people you work with. So not only that, you will find yourself in situations where you will be linked in one way or another, whether you want it or you don't want it. You always find yourself being linked to certain people who are in high position. You will also find yourself being linked to people who are criminals. Not linked in a way where you're doing the criminals with them. No, but you just know them. You know them. You know that. You know certain things. You know what they're doing. Some of them, if you're a healer, they'll even come to you because they are the kingpins of the other side. So they'll come to you in the spiritual realms. Some of you are not just only protected by angels, but you are also protected by certain powerful demons. Why would a demon protect you? Why would a demon protect you? Because the higher you go spiritually. Energy is energy. There's no light or dark in the energetic field. It is just one thing, energy. And some of your ancestors had to go to the underworld and fight and set order there. There's order in the underworld. In the darkness, there's order as well. And the scales never tip. The scales are like this. The scales of good and bad are never tipping. They're always like this. Higher levels, they're always like this. Anything goes. You just decide how you use this energy. And it doesn't matter how you use it. Hence, that's why no matter what, the devils are still attacking you. The demons are still attacking you. Why are they attacking you? It is because when you're at this level, you just decide how to use the energy. That's not the lesson. Now I'm going to be now talking about things I didn't want to go into. But yeah, so some of you, your ancestors in the spiritual royalty, are the keepers of the galaxies. And they're the keepers of the galaxies, and they allow who comes into the galaxies and who doesn't. And with that on its own, it means that they give permissions to the demons and the light to come in and out. So obviously, if there's one thing about the darker side, about the other side, we call it dark, but yeah, about the other side, is that there's always loyalty. They know where their bread is buttered. And if your ancestors the one buttering their bread for them to come on this realm, they are going to make sure that you are protected. And then you ask yourself, but how am I protected? I'm supposed to be a light being. Yeah, no, they're not taking your light out. How do you think Jesus was to communing with the devil? What right does the devil have to come and talk to Jesus and then take Jesus to a higher mountain and offer Jesus things? What right? Obviously, it was not because of temptation. It's because he was trying to win him to the side. He knew already that Jesus is of a higher realm of light. But they also need a little bit of the light in order for them to keep the functions of what they're here on earth to do. Just like how I said in the test of Job, that God is the one who sends them. In the test of Job, the angels, we call them demons, but they're not necessarily demons. Those that come and torment you and do whatever, they are sent by God. Don't think they are sent. The trials of Job were not done by angels of light. It is the devil. It even says in the Bible, Satan went to God. And then God is the one who said, for those that didn't watch the video, but if you go watch it, you hear me saying this. God is the one who said, have you considered my servant Job? Satan did not go to God's presence to go and inquire about Job. What is Satan doing in God's presence? Yeah, not randomly. He just walks up in God's presence. Why? They said he was kicked at the garden. Didn't they tell us the whole story of how he was banned and he can't even get to heaven? Now in Job, we are told that he goes to God. He even goes multiple of times. It is because the mission comes from God. This whole thing, the reason why it is the best schools here, Earth is one of the most schools, best school in the galaxy for you to become a god. It is because even the good and the evil are all sent by God. They are here to serve a purpose of testing you. And if you can pass it to the highest degree, then when you are the true God born, when you are born, no God can become a god without coming to earth and passing in high colors here. So every single thing, the disasters, the what are all sent by the higher beings. Go back and read Job and look at all the murderers of his kids. Every single thing that Job lost. The only thing that they are not allowed to do, and that's what I said in the video of Destiny Swapping, and I said that the only thing that they will never do is kill you. But they will come and torment you because they're sent by God. So now, I'm back to the part where I say that some of you, you are also protected by the very same people who are sent on earth to come and torment people. They also protect you because of the people you walk with. in the spiritual realm, for you, is not just about rulership. For you, it's also about being a keeper of ancient secrets. And if those secrets come out, the world gets destroyed. So obviously, the mafias and everyone need to protect you because they still have a mission. They still have a mission. Sometimes they can't even touch you. They're not even allowed to touch you. That's how highly protected you are. And when people do witchcraft on you, you wonder why it doesn't work. And you're sitting here and like, it doesn't work. It will never work. Instead, those people, you just look at them and like, they're just being used. Yeah, there are people who witchcraft, it doesn't work on them. And many royalty, many Makhosi witchcraft doesn't work on them. Especially the water one. The water royalty, the only type of witchcraft that will work to some extent on them is sexual rituals. The only way you will get through to them is if you're sleeping with them. But apart from that, and even if the sexual rituals, it won't work to a point where it destroys their whole life. And I mean, like if you work with an ancestor who's the keeper of the galaxy, he is the one, or she is the one who sits at Saturn. Yeah. At the gate of Saturn and decides who comes in and who doesn't come in. That's your ancestor. Okay, now tell me, who's gonna be with you? Witchcraft is even child's play. I mean, like, witchcraft is even child's play. One of your archangel is Samuel. Who is Samuel? Go read up about Samuel. I mean the archangel Samuel. Not Samuel the prophet. The archangel Samuel. Okay, it's a story for another day, that one. Right, now I want to finish up. I want to get to the other point that I wanted to make about this. Okay, so now, in also having the Makhosi, the royal blood, means that not all of us are going to be doing the same things. Not all of us are going to be sent into business. Yes, I did say that certain ancestors, entrepreneurship is a calling, and people are commenting that everything in life is spiritual. I did not agree. I did not disagree on that, guys. Like, we know everything is spiritual, but not everything spiritual is a calling. Not everything spiritual is a calling. Right? So not all ancestors will require you to start a business. And yes, you will be Makhosi, but you will not be required to start a business because your ancestry were never part of the rulers. They were the ones in the courts who were given orders on what they need to do. But usually in this instance, they will put you under a leadership of someone who has royal blood as well. You're supposed to be a deacon, not necessarily the pastor. And this is part where now envy, jealousy, and all these things come from. It is because you're not standing on your corner and fulfilling your responsibilities. But sometimes in spirituality, we look at other people's responsibilities and we want them. But we do not know that unto whom much is given, much is required. To who has been given a lot will be required of them. To those who a lot is given, a lot is required. And many of you want these things, but you cannot fulfill the responsibility because to you, it's too hard. Many of you say, I'm the chief executive officer of the company that you started yourself. That has nothing. You don't even have a product. You just registered it and you're calling yourself a CEO. You even put it on your LinkedIn, CEO at, founder at, and yet you still haven't been able to even get one contract of that company because you do not understand the responsibility. Even if you go and get a supply product where you're supplying and you're getting 30,000, you can never compare yourself with the CEO of a multi-company. Your responsibilities are not the same. Because you have not gained the experience, you don't even know. And this is why I've been going on and on and on and saying that those who are meant to rule, rulership is just more than just giving orders. There's things that you need to do. I told you, how are you Makhosi if you don't understand literature? The only books that you ever read were the ones you were forced to read at school. And ever since then, you don't even read a book. You don't even read a book. You don't even read. Even if we recommend books now and say, go read these books, you don't read them. I have so many people who have come to me. I've given them books and I said, in a consultation, your ancestors say, go read up on this thing. Go research on these people. And many of them don't. You don't even know art. Don't even play sport. Why do you think the royal kids do fencing, do cricket, do tennis, do polo, do all those things? Why do they do all those things? There's a reason why they do that. There is a reason. Why must they learn how to ballroom dance? Why must they learn how to ballroom dance? Why must they learn proper etiquette? Why must they learn proper etiquette? And they all learned it. Don't even think this is a Western concept. It's not a Western concept. Go study. If you want to keep it African, go study how the Egyptians world lived, how the pharaohs lived, and the training that they had to go through. Why do I always tell you that Moses, every single thing that Moses wrote, the first 5 books of the Bible are written by Moses? Where did Moses learn all those things? He learned them because he lived all his life in Egypt and he was part of the princes in the court. Every single thing that Moses wrote, from the Genesis to the time where he said he died and Aaron took over, all those things that were written are found in Egypt. And yet Moses left Egypt, ran away from Egypt. Because of the training he received in the royal courts in Egypt, he was able to convince a people to follow him and lead them, because he had received proper training to do those things. Ask yourself, what did they need to learn? If you were told that you have Makhosi and you're supposed to be a leader, or you're supposed to start a church, they're not talking about the churches that you are seeing today. They're talking about a proper temple school. Go and study and ask yourself, how did the priests in the Egyptian temples operate? What powers did they use? What methods did they use? How were they able to do this and this and this? I had to cut that video because I was getting a call, and it's an important call for delivery that I'm waiting for. Alrighty, I think I've said a mouthful. Now I lost my train of thought. Okay, all right. Now in closing, let me just close by go read, go study energy, go study stuff, go read. Don't only just rely on people. Okay, let me close by saying this. I just want to say stuff before I go, because I really need to go now. I don't like giving book recommendations. I don't like giving recommendations of things that you need to go study. Why do I not like doing this? It is because my ancestors don't like it. They didn't like it when I would get recommendations of things to read. They preferred them to be the one to recommend things. And I had instances where someone recommended a book and I thought it would be fine, and I picked the book up, and as I'm reading it, I'll hear voice or someone coming and doing, stop reading that. Not because, it doesn't mean just because someone wrote a book or everything they wrote is true. No. Many people got pure knowledge, pure downloads, and then they wrote the books. And after they read the books, they then went and edited it to fit in a narrative that they want to put forward. Or when they took the books to the editors would be like, no, take this out. Leave this. You get what I mean? And some of the books were written to confuse people. Right. So now I don't like recommending books, because your ancestors are the ones that are supposed to recommend the books for you. Every single book that I read was recommended to me in a dream. Either I was given the name of the author and told to go study the collection that the author released, or I was then told, sometimes they would tell me, in this book you only read chapter 5. That's the only thing you read. And then now I'll go and recommend the whole book to you when I was told to only read chapter 5. Right? So to those who keep asking me for recommendations on book, I'm sorry, I'm not going to recommend any books, because I feel the structures or the thing of your teaching must be coming from your ancestors directly. They must be the ones who are saying to you, do this, read this, do that. And how would they do that? Through intuition. Intuitively, you should know what books you're supposed to be reading. Intuitively, you should know the things that you are supposed to be doing. And then To those that have been coming and asking about the YouTube channel, I did try and upload as many videos as I could yesterday. Literally took 2 hours. I just started uploading. Some of the videos I couldn't find the original covers that I used for the TikTok videos, so they're gonna be different, but I've put a lot of the videos on. Some they still deleted. I started the process, they deleted 2 videos, and I didn't understand why they were deleting them. They didn't want to upload them, so then I stopped. And so now I went back. There is 2 or 3 that I couldn't still upload, so not all the videos are there, but I am going to do my best to say when I upload on TikTok, I automatically upload on YouTube as well, right? And then the last thing I want to say to the mothers out there, to parents out there, I did say it in one video one time to the parents out there, please check your kids. Check your kids. You know, today when I was taking a shower in the morning, I was being reprimanded. And they said, you keep forgetting the kids, Maputi. You forget the kids. Right? You're doing all these cleansings and what for the parents, but you forget the kids. It's important for the kids to also get cleansed. So when you go check your things, also check your kids, because some of you, the blessings you are waiting for are not going to come to you. They're going to come through that child of yours. There's a client of mine who, she was told that the lotto numbers that she's praying for will come through her daughter. And she must teach her daughter to actually write her dreams. And it's starting to happen because she's starting to see numbers. So, but now it's happening because she took her cleansing. She did the cleansing for the daughter, right? So now, obviously, the ancestors are going to send the message. You are not a pure channel. They prefer the channel of the child. So sometimes the wealth, the job, the prosperity, the what that you're busy praying for is hidden in your child, and it needs to be unlocked. Check your kids. Go cleanse your kids. Don't just focus on yourself and mojolo and relationships and what. I want to check this man. Is he my husband? But you have kids here. Busy going around. I want to see if this man is going to marry me. But there are kids here. You don't even care about them. I want to know if this girl is what. But you have kids. Yet you don't come and say, I want to check if my kids are okay. What is the future of my kids? And kids need their own consultations because they are their own entities and own individuals. First of all, your children don't have the same father as you. You might be their mother, but they have a different father from you. So the ancestors that are going to come for this child are not your ancestors only. And hence that's why they need their own consultation. They need their own cleansing. And their ancestors are going to require certain things from them. Some of you have such special kids who need to be protected at a young age. Check your kids. Right. I'm going to close here. I have so much on my plate. My WhatsApp has been going off the chain with people, messages and everything. And I have a consultation that I need to prepare for. All right. Have a good day.